Okay. There we go. So we're recording now. And here's Meredith.
I'm gonna just mute myself and listen.
Okay.
Have fun.
Thanks,
Okay,
Linda.
I'm gonna run down the hall real quick.
Go for it.
Okay.
We'll give everyone a couple minutes.
I finally made it onto a meeting in person, sort of, but I'm so sorry. It has been a morning. It has just been nuts from getting out of bed kind of a thing. And so, and things that I couldn't just not do. So you're taking and I was listening when I was driving, and you were right. It was not a good time for me.
No, it's never good.
Yeah.
Very hard for me to hear everybody. It was the road noise and everything. So, yeah, so thanks.
It's hard to hear in a quiet house too. It just gets muffled when everybody starts talking at the same time. So you just kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
The people in person, we need to remember that we need to speak up and like pause, and it's hard to remember that.
Well, and I think too, it's just the computer is far enough away from everybody that, just where the speaker or the microphone is in comparison.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And plus we have construction going on here too. I think they're working on the elevators, and you can hear it throughout the whole building.
But Erica's right. You can, if you listen close, you can get the gist of what's going on, even if you don't get the details.
Yes, I agree. That's how I kind of felt about it. I was getting the overall gist, and was able to get in on some people's really good stories.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think one day they'll have the camera and then a microphone attachment separate that's wireless that can be placed in the center of people, so that maybe we can hear better.
Yeah, and that's really the need. It is the need.
Have you guys heard of something called the owl?
No.
It does that.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it makes that sound too. We've got it in the center of our conference room table.
Ah.
Maybe
Something
we
to
need
look into.
Yeah,
It's
Jill.
a camera,
send that over to
camera
exec
thing
and
all in
see.
one.
So Jill just ordered right before Christmas a thing that, like, if you were doing a video, it's a stand, but you can put your phone on it, but it tracks you. Did that come in, Jill?
I got sick, and I
Understandable.
I did not order it, but it's on my list. It's on my list.
Okay. I'm curious of how it works when it comes in.
Speaking
the
of
first to know.
things, there's a lot of people at the end of the year talking about the whole the video montage for the end of the year. I know a couple of people have to reach out to them and see what they use, but did like the picture a month or the picture of something, and they already had an app that was downloaded that pulled it, and then it was like mindless and it just did it.
Oh,
Huh.
please help us.
So, oh, hey, JC.
Hey. I'm sneaking in
Was
the main-
wondering if that would work to make it just easy.
Yeah. Anything you can find out on that, Erica, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Here's Emily. Hey, Emily.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
That's good. Okay, I think we can go ahead and start. I think, like I said, Angie has signed up, but her and we're going to meet separately in person and go over the entries. So And Meredith and Emily, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, I mean, we are all happy to meet in person and dig a little deeper if that's what you guys want.
Definitely. Well, we'll get started. Thanks everyone for joining. Really informal, just, so my name's Caitlin Austin, I'm with Lennar, and I'm on the Rules and Regulations Committee for MAME. We're really excited. Deb and Erica have a great MAME planned and can't wait to see it all unfold. But today's really just about the rules and going through the packet, and I'll go through kind of the new entries and what we have in there. But as we've said, please stop at any point, real informal, ask questions. If there's any existing entries that you have questions on, we can definitely go through those as well. But our focus this year was really and last year was to really look at our current environment. And as we've kind of moved into a more digital environment, make sure that all of our entries are represent that as well. So there's been a lot of new technology, a lot of new applications, just a lot of new things to consider that we wanted to make sure we represented. So there's a handful of entries that are labeled new that we also had last year, but we wanted to keep them new just to remind everyone that those are relatively new. And if you didn't enter them last year, maybe consider entering this year. Maybe there's something new that you're doing that applies to that. So we'll go through all of those. So maybe we should start by Emily and Meredith. If you want to speak to, is this your first MAME? Is this your first time entering? What's your kind of experience?
So this isn't my first MAME, but I'm in a new position where I'm going to be kind of taking over all of the entries, whereas the past couple of years I've just been kind of helping with the forms and everything. So
Great, very exciting. And then Meredith, how about you?
It's not my first MAME, but it's the first one where I'm working directly for the builder. I'm with Rebecca Combs now. I used to be with Fonville Morrissey Barefoot, and we would enter awards on behalf of Robust, but I think this is the first time I've done MAME being in-house. So I'm just thought it'd be good for me to attend.
Yeah, wonderful. Very exciting. Okay, so like I said, let's go through the new entries and make sure everyone kind of has a general understanding of those. And then after that, we'll just kind of open it up to any questions you guys have. If you want to talk about existing entries, we can go through those as well. So first new entry is number 4, best graphic continuity. This was one of the ones that was also in the packet last year, but it could be one again to consider if you are doing something new this year that you weren't doing last year that maybe applies for this. So it's somewhat general and open to interpretation, but the basis of this entry is the more you enter, the better. The more graphics, the more examples, better. And the judges are really looking for what's something, the continuity between all of those. So how are they all connected? Is there's a string that connects them all, whether it's branding or representing your company or something represented in the graphics? How are all of those connected through all those channels? So again, there's not a requirement for how many you need to enter for that, how many examples, but the more the better. And we're just looking for an overall picture of continuity within your company. So again, that one's somewhat open for interpretation, but a really great one, just looking at your advertising and promotions and how those all are connected. Next new entry is number 11. So that's best digital marketing campaign. So we wanted
real quick,
Yep.
I added the call for entries in the chat. I made some edits, and it's like on the website and in the newsletter and everything, but I just want y'all to have the latest and greatest. Okay, sorry.
Perfect. And if it's better for us to bring those up on the screen, let us know. Do you guys have the pack in front of you, Emily, Meredith?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I'm in the car though.
Okay,
Do my
perfect.
best.
Yeah, sure. Well, just chime in whenever you need. So the next one is entry 11. So like I said, best digital marketing campaign. We realized that we weren't representing an overall campaign. So this one really is multiple platforms, multiple channels of a campaign that you've pushed out. Pretty self-explanatory. So, but you know, that would be if you had a campaign that you've e-blasted, that you have on your website, that you have signage for, that you have social ads for, paid ads. That's really what this is representing. I'm sorry, it's digital, so it wouldn't be signage, but overall platforms that you've pushed out for a campaign. And to compare it, so if we look down at number 14, which is not new, but that's best email campaign. The difference between these two is number 14 is more of a single message or a single graphic that you've put out through e-blast, through an email campaign multiple times, but it's not through multiple channels. So does that all make sense? That's really the question that we get often between those two. So it's nice if you compare them side to side between 11 and 14. 11 is more multiple channels and platforms, where 14 is more focusing on email. Just wanted to make sure that that was clear. And again, just to kind of put those side by side.
Can I get a quick question in?
Sure.
For digital campaigns, would you consider a campaign to be something that has a start and a stop date? Obviously, omni-channel. I think I know the answer to that would be yes, but I guess I would assume a lot of us are doing these sort of evergreen style campaigns that just kind of run as a basic advertisement for a community. Would that be an example of something that would be accepted for digital campaign?
Yes, I think so. So obviously everything has a stop date, but it doesn't necessarily it didn't have to stop in 2022. It could be still playing through 2023 as long as it started in 2022. Then I think you're safe. But yes, and I think an evergreen certainly applies to this. Any other questions? Okay. Let's move to the next one, which is number 12. So this is best virtual sales process or experience. So this one's somewhat self-explanatory. We're really just, this is another one that was in the packet last year, but again, another one that we wanted to highlight when, you know, as we all move into more of this digital world, we're really just looking for a process, a virtual process in your sales experience. So this could be a handoff from the sales due to your customers. What are they doing that's been developed in the virtual platform? Again, it's kind of open for interpretation. This could be several different things, but just really looking at your sales team and what they're doing during that sales process and how it's working in the digital world. I know that's somewhat general, but this one's more open for interpretation and generalized. So is that a sales application that they're using in the sales center? Is that a handoff from one team to the next that's on the digital platform? Does that make sense? I know it's real general, but again, it's open for interpretation within that virtual platform. Okay. Next one, we're going to go to 18, which is best lifestyle program for a community. Again, just as this says, many of our amenity centers have a lifestyle program, and we wanted to make sure that that was represented because those lifestyle directors are putting together programs. They're putting together activities. They're making sure that our customers within that community are fulfilled. And that takes a lot of work. So we realized that that was kind of a missing piece, and we wanted to make sure that that was filled. So should be pretty straightforward, just representing that lifestyle program. Next, number 19, which is best professional development series. So this was another area that we felt was not represented. So as companies grow, there are training programs being developed and people in charge of those training programs. So we wanted to make sure that that was represented and they were getting highlighted. So this is representing those training programs and the people that are in charge of creating those What are they putting together? How is it benefiting the people that are experiencing those programs? Things to that nature. All right, so after that, we get into some of the new this year entries. So we're really excited about these. We'll go to number 23, which is the best rendered virtual tour. So I want to make sure that we're clear here that this is a rendered tour. So we're all familiar with, to compare side by side, we're all familiar with like Matterport tours, which is a tour of an existing home. So that's where a vendor goes in, they put up a camera, they take video and photography of an existing home, piece it together and create a tour. Number 23 is not that. Number 23 is a rendered tour. So a vendor goes in, renders out everything, pieces it together, and creates a tour from that. And again, this is a new tool that has been used in the field since we've all moved to more digital channels. So we wanted to make sure that that was represented. So that can be of a community, that can be of a home, that can be of a amenity center, several different aspects there, but representing those rendered channels, those rendered pieces that we're creating. And again, we thought that that was missing. So is that clear? Because a lot of people have had getting hung up on that a bit. So I wanted to make sure that everything's clear there. Great. Okay, and again, that's a brand new entry for this year. Number 38, new, this is also new this year, and it is a lifestyle director. So this goes back to, so number 18 is that lifestyle program. Number 38 is that lifestyle director. So again, the people that are doing those programs that are put in place at those amenity centers or in our communities that are, you know, customer face, they're working with the, our homeowners and making sure that they're happy. We really want to make sure that they're represented. So again, 38 and 18 are kind of paired together, but 18 is the program where 38 is the person. We're going to move down to number 41, Shining Star. So Shining Star is such a great entry. It represents someone in the office or whereabout that are doing an excellent job at their making sure that everything else is going smoothly. So several different positions can be represented here. But what we realized, and the new part of this entry is the B. So where there was possibly before a single person doing a job, as our industry has grown, maybe there's a team doing that job. So we want to make sure that, you know, a perfect example is if there's two people doing that job and the company would have to decide one person of those two to enter for this. We did not want to do that. So we want to make sure that you can enter a team. So again, real simple, same exact guidelines as individual, but this is that team that does that job. We want to make sure that that was represented. And then number 43, same thing here. So we have 42, which is a superintendent, one person. 43 is the team. So those project managers, construction managers, superintendents in the field, you can enter a single person, or is there a team coming together, overseeing a community that do an amazing job? We want to make sure that, again, we represented a team there. Those are all of our new entries for this year. Any questions there? Anything else you guys want to clarify between those?
Not any of the new ones, but I did have a question about 20 and 21.
Yeah, let's go to those.
So that's the best model merchandising and then best product design.
Yeah.
When you say model merchandising, is that kind of geared towards like the staging and just overall visual aspect?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So that's looking at the staging, as you said, visual aspects, you know, is the wallpaper with the couch and the, you know, accessories all kind of coming together. Whereas product design is actually looking at the placement of rooms and how the flow of, you know, when you walk in, is the flow of the home really great, and certain aspects of that. let me jump real quick to look at the specifics too, to make sure that I'm covering all of that. Yep, so 21 is looking at the architecture, design and appeal. Again, the flow of the house, how's that all going? Where merchandising is, again, looking at impact of furniture and accessories and how it is applying to that target market. So that's another key piece of when you're entering this. If you're entering this category, really explain, we put these pieces here, or we use this feel of this home because this is a first time buyer, or this is a move up buyer. You know, we thought that this wine rack or, you know, wine room applied to this move up buyer, or, you know, what details of that home are specific to that community or that buyer.
Okay.
The other thing that I want to mention is if we jump to MAME extras. So we have the best of the best overall marketing, best of the best overall design, merchandising, and community, and best of the best custom. So something a little different this year that we're doing is the best of the best overall marketing. You have to enter at least 10 entries under the advertising and promotion. And yes, under advertising and promotion to be considered for the best of the best overall marketing. And you can enter more, right? The more the better, but the tally of all the entries that you enter are going to determine who wins that best of the best overall marketing. So for overall marketing, it's 10 entries. Overall design, merchandising, community, it's 6. And best custom is 3. So that's really important to remember, where if you want to be considered for any of those, make sure that you're hitting that minimum. And then again, if you for the best of the best overall marketing, if you enter 12, that's even better than 10, because they're going to consider that overall score of those 12 compared to someone else who just entered 10. So really consider that when you're applying for this. That's another great entry. You don't have to enter anything for it. They're just looking at your existing entries. So it's no extra work to you. So again, if you're going to only enter 9 for that overall marketing, maybe enter 1 more. See if you can enter 1 more to be considered for that. That's really important. And a really great category. Did that make sense to everyone? Okay. I have a couple tips and tricks to kind of highlight as well, but is there any other specific entries that you guys want to go through?
I think you covered all my questions. I'm good here.
Okay. Meredith, I know you're driving, so feel free to speak up if you.
I think I've got one, maybe on number 15, overall advertising campaign. That just goes one level above digital, right? To include offline channels, correct?
Correct, exactly. So where the other one's specifying digital, this one's not specifying digital. So this could include signage, or, you know, a sign spinner, or, you know, some more traditional aspects as well.
Okay, and how would y'all describe best special promotion when trying to distinguish that from an advertising campaign?
Okay, so ask that one more time.
How would you distinguish between best special promotion and best overall advertising campaign?
Okay, so you're talking
15
about
and 16.
Okay, let me jump real quick to my packet and make sure that I am going to answer this correctly with you.
I'm just going to jump in real quick.
Yeah, please do.
So for 16A, if I were entering this, I would probably enter it if it were like what the CFE say, you know, a grand opening, or a realtor event, or something that had a short lifespan. And, you know, and then you do have your, campaign to the consumer, and then also to general brokerage. And then within a company. So, you know, if you guys have a sales rally or something like that, then that would fall under 16A. I would say, you know, something with like a shorter lifespan, the grand opening event, maybe a grand opening of a design studio or something like that. I would look at 15A and B as something across all channels, definitely, but have a longer lifespan. Does that make sense? Would y'all
Yeah.
agree, you know, Caitlin and Deb and Erica?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're looking at, for 15A, you're looking at billboards. And so billboards, you know, they're up there for months on end. And I know you can promote a grand opening for a while too, but I think it's more specific and targeted.
Okay, something with a special hook or something like that. Okay, thank you.
Or shoot, enter the same event in both entries and see what happens.
Well, and that's another thing. It's important to remember that there's several categories here that they overlap a little bit, right? Like, so is it specifically digital? Is it advertising? Like, there's some overlap. So it just depends on where you're really wanting to highlight that campaign, or, you know, or specifics of that. So there are minor differences between them, but there are slight overlaps. So I know that is slightly confusing, but also you could enter the same campaign for a couple different of those entries and see what performs the best. Obviously it needs to qualify, right? Digital is just digital, or, you know, advertising campaigns more traditional and digital. But you are going to find some overlaps, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but again, I mean, honestly, I would stick with 16 for a limited, where it says, you know, a limited campaign, and 15 something more broader.
Yep. Meredith, did you have any other questions, or did that answer everything?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Great. Well, so let's go through we have a couple of tips and tricks just to kind of help you out. Just from experience, people have entered in the past and what they've done. So a lot of times in your entry, there's, let's say, if it's highlighting print, you might have 4 opportunities to include that graphic, or, you know, variations of that. But let's say you have 7 things that you want to include, 7 images. You can always create a collage and just input that one image on a collage. So you're representing all those things together. Or, you know, if, let's say it's even bigger and you have, for that continuity, you want to include 15 things, but there's only 4 opportunities to upload something. Create 4 collages, you know, within that, and you can upload that. That's an opportunity to input more things for the judges to look at and consider, which is always a good thing. The more that you can include is always going to help you out. So remember that. That's always a great tip. And then if you guys have need help writing entries, there's been a couple companies and people have volunteered to do that. So that's Martin Communications, and then Lori Hopper with Sarah Graphics. Jill, if you could put their information in the chat, that would be super helpful. And then again, if you need help writing entries, they're there. They've offered to help. Their services. Reach out to them, and they can certainly do that.
I'll put that in the chat.
Perfect. Erica and Deb, is there anything you guys want to speak to MAME or add?
I would just say, don't hesitate to, you know, reach out with any questions. We have already gotten questions, and we will answer them as quickly as we possibly can. And we welcome them because, you know, it is kind of vague. And so we just want to help out as best we can.
Yeah, like, we don't want you to not enter because there are questions, you know, and because sometimes in years past, when a category has had very, very few entries, and it would be really, really great to see more. We want to see all the categories full and have as many possible winners as possible. So, so yeah, don't be shy with the questions. I agree with that, Erica.
Yeah, there's many people, many resources available. I feel like the questions are common, like there's always people asking questions, clarifying this, or, you know, is this okay for this? That's perfectly fine. We want to make sure people are understanding and feeling confident about their entries. That's always a great thing. You know, reach out to any of us. We're happy to answer anything. And if we don't know, we're going to pass it on to someone else who does know. So we'll always find the answer.
And do y'all have any questions about the portal? I've actually made a lot of edits to it, so I'm hoping that it's seamless. For over the years, and when I was actually entering MAME awards, I noticed that the call for entry says one thing, and then when I would get on the portal to fill everything in, it would ask like a different question. And so what I did is I went in there and I made sure that the portal matches the call for entries. Removed a couple of line items, added a couple of line items, added additional word count where it makes sense. And I tested it as best as I could, but if you get in there and you stumble upon something, let me know. And I'm happy to fix it. And also too, because I've been in y'all's shoes, now that the portal is live, I am available 24/7 until 8 p.m. especially leading up to deadline time, because you guys are in the crunch and you're like, I don't have time for anything. What's going on? So, you know, you can just text me and I'll be more than happy to help any way I can. There was something, oh, yes. One really good idea is when you're writing the marketing statement, don't start out in the portal. Just start writing the marketing statement in a Word doc, because, you know, you can save it and go back to it and it's familiar to you. And when it's time for you to submit the entry, just cut and paste in the portal. And you can always save and go back. But I also know from the past, I think it does time you out if you're in there for a long time. So again, it's best to write your marketing statement in a Word doc. And when you are ready to submit, you have to hit the submit button or it won't count. And don't worry about paying for your entry when you submit, because there is a way when you hit submit, there is a drop down that you can do, like invoice me, and we would even prefer it that way. We'll just invoice you. Don't worry about it.
Good suggestion. Word doc is much easier for sure, from experience.
I think I realized I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, good.
Might as well ask them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best broadcast commercial and best digital video. How would you distinguish between, oh wait, broadcast commercial? That's not video, is it? That's like a radio ad?
Yeah, we kind of changed it to say broadcast instead of TV commercial or radio commercial, right?
Yeah, let me grab,
Okay.
let me go to the, let me navigate to the specifically 9. Yeah, so broadcast commercial, like you said, it's a commercial, it's something of that nature, where digital video can be, you know, used in many different channels. You know, maybe you're using that digital video on your website, maybe you're using it on, you know, several different ways. But that's kind of the distinguishing thing, where the commercial is television, radio, where, let's see this one.
Yeah, the broadcast commercial, you know, would definitely have like a call to action on it. The best digital video could be the looped video playing in your sales model, or
Yeah.
a digital video that you may send out to a prospect as follow-up, or something like that, that's used on you know, multiple platforms with maybe even no call to action. Maybe it's just, a thank you, or like I said, like a loop.
Okay. Gotcha. Can you tell me about how some marketers are using the best use of technology category?
So that is another kind of general one, but a great one. So that one was created to kind of, there's always new innovative things coming to a market, right? Like things that maybe you tried for the first year. And we wanted to create that category to represent those things. So in case you didn't have a specific category for something, but it's a new technology that's come to us, you can represent it there. So I'll say from my personal record, last year for that one, there was not an entry for a rendered virtual tour. So that's where I entered a rendered virtual tour. Now we have an entry for it, but that'll give you an example where if you're doing something, a great new piece of technology that there's not a category for, use it for there. Is there something innovative that your company's doing that you want to represent? That is a great spot to put it.
Okay. And on the rendered virtual tour, do those have to have been created in 2022?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything you enter had to have been created in 2022.
Okay.
So, and then going back to best use of technology, I mean, couldn't that also be like a virtual design studio, like where you can place furniture, or where a consumer can go in and pick out paint colors and stuff? Would that fall in that category?
I think so, as long as it wouldn't be rendered. Because I think if it's rendered, it'd fall under the other one.
Okay.
Unless it's, and the only, so it's a great question because we don't really have a subcategory in the rendered one. So maybe it would. I mean, I think that would be for consideration under best use of technology.
Okay. Because I'm sure someone's going to ask that question. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good that we're all together.
Yeah.
And everything. So, and then like another thing would be, and I don't even know if you guys do this anymore, but interactive sitemap.
Yep. That'd be a great one. Maybe your company's using an application in your sales centers that, is a great way that you're using technology. So that your customers can look at, like something like that where, or maybe there's a new technology you're using that reaches new traffic to your sales center. So I'm trying to think of what it's called, but
A CRM, like a new CRM.
New CRM, or maybe you're using a new way to plant ads to traffic that go to a specific area, paid ads, I think that that's a new use of technology. So
Like geofencing?
Yeah, geofencing. Yep, exactly. Like, so that maybe that's a way that you're using it. I'm just trying to think of certain ways, new things that have entered our field that people are doing that could be a great way. If you think of something that you're doing that you're like, I'm really proud of this, and this gave us great traffic, or this really helped our customers, or this presented great information to the people that we needed, and then you don't see a category for it, I think in this technology, I think that's a great place to put it.
Would you shy away from entering it if it doesn't really have a direct correlation to increased traffic and sales? If it's more of an indirect supportive style technology, like, for instance, Canva.com is a new sort of creative ecosystem that we have created that's helped everyone, but it's very far away from being correlated to a sale.
I think if you can represent it, how it successfully helped your company, maybe it's not a direct sale, but how it helped your company, then yes, I think that there's ways of, I don't want to say spinning it, but there's ways of, it helped you. It obviously you're saying it's a great application. It helped you. So then explain how it helped you and how that carried on. It helped you to create graphics, which then you were able to put in your e-blast, which then resulted from these sales. You know, you can kind of spin it in that way, follow that trail. And how did it, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be numbers, but how it successfully helped you or your company.
Okay. Very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys feel good about it?
Yeah, I think I'm good here.
Great.
Okay, I'm gonna enter my cell phone.
I'm all good.
Okay, so this is my cell phone. Write it down and text me if it's after hours and you need help.
Wonderful.
And she means that sincerely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is the behind the scenes workhorse of MAME. Like, you know, you see the chair and co-chair up on the stage and everything, but Jill does an amazing amount of work through all this. And
Oh,
so
thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, especially with the portal. I can help you with that. If there's like a question about a category or something and it's not cut and dry, then Caitlin and Deb and Erica will be the ones that I would go to.
And sometimes it's just easiest to talk it out a little bit. And then that is even with me, where let's talk this out. Okay, how does this fall? And you know, what are the standards and how does that work? And that's sometimes the best way to kind of wrap your head around it. So everyone here is open to doing that.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all entered into the portal. We've all written it up in Word document, changed it 20 million times.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much, y'all. I'm going to jump. I really appreciate your time.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you, Meredith, and thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. Thank
Great
you.
day.
Thank you. Bye.
That went well.
Oh, she's gone. Never
Oh.
mind.
Okay. Well, she's right here. She's gonna come in here. But
Okay.
I think that went well. And thank you, Deb. You're so sweet.
Oh, well, it's the truth. It
You
wasn't.
are amazing.
But I thought there were some great questions. So that was really, really, I think, helpful.
And honestly, I mean, a lot of the stuff that Caitlin said, I mean, I took notes because it's like, wow, I didn't really realize, you know, this, or great question. And then she did a really good job at explaining everything and going into detail.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, since you recorded it, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't take notes because you recorded it and I figured we could go back and add.
I could stop recording, right?
Yeah.
Okay, stop recording.